Hey guys, so today I'm gonna make another video about a specific part of my collection. Not like the last time. The last video I made was my entire collection, was pretty much everything that I had. This time I'm gonna specifically talk about my PlayStation 1 stuff. And I have a numerous amount of PlayStation 1 stuff. If you don't know by now, the PlayStation 1 is my favorite video game console, and I love pretty much a majority of the games that are on it, especially the obscure games that you can find on the system, and there are a lot of obscure games on it. There are games that you've probably never even heard of, and that is kind of the point of this video, is to kind of go over just a few games, maybe some accessories or whatnot. And yeah, just to kind of show you what I got. There are probably going to be a lot of games that you've probably never heard of, so I guess we should just get right into it, right? Sure. On top is just some random Crash Bandicoot stuff. I love the Crash Bandicoot games, but they're incredibly hard. I mean, in my opinion, there are certain levels, maybe not Crash Bandicoot Warped. That one I think is one of the easier ones, but the original Crash Bandicoot has one of the most unforgiving levels in that game. So yeah, but I like Crash Bandicoot. I don't have Skylanders or care for Skylanders at all, but this just look cool. Look at how cool he looks, and look at Crash. Anyway, let's get into the actual games. If my camera would focus, there we go. Alone in the Dark, that's kind of a weird game. It's in the style of freaking Resident Evil 2. I almost pulled the whole fucking shelf. Not Resident Evil 2, just Resident Evil in general. It's got the camera angles from those games. But it's kind of a cool game. If you ever played the original Alone in the Dark, like, good for you, but I've never played it. But this one actually looked really cool. I haven't played too much of it, but if you like horror games, there you go. I think it costs about anywhere between $10 to $15, as far as I remember. Ah, yes, this is actually a special one right here. 40 Winks. Look at that. I want you to take a good look at that Nintendo official magazine quote that I am sure... Wait. It's published by EMAP, but it says Nintendo official magazine. Okay. This is not the worst game. It's a puzzle platformer, which is kind of cool. It's, again, not the worst game, but I wouldn't compare it to Mario at all. Like, not even in the slightest. But if you find it for super cheap, you know, pick it up. It's not that worthless. This, I actually made a video about this a long time ago on a quick play. This is a better alternative than buying an Atari 2600. Now, granted, the Atari 2600, I mean, I guess it's a great system. It has really cool games, blah, blah, blah. To me, it's not worth it. Get this. It's really cheap. It's got 30 games on it, and it's got a lot of the classics. I'll let you take a look at all those classics real quick. If I can hold the camera still for the life of me, but anyway. Yeah, definitely worth it. Air Combat. They actually just released a new Air Combat, which is pretty cool. I wanted to get it, but money. Ah, yes. Ape Escape. If you haven't played this game, definitely get it. There is a PSP port as well, so you could play on the go. The only problem is the PSP doesn't have two thumbsticks, which this game excels at having the privilege of having two thumbsticks. It's the first game that actually used the DualShock analog controllers. But playing it on the PSP is not the best way, in my opinion, to play this. And plus, the voice acting, I think, got worse in the PSP port. But yeah, if you find this game definitely pick it up. I love Ape Escape, the whole series. Well, I mean, there were those other Ape Escape games like Academy and whatnot that we don't talk about. The Army Men games. Ever heard of Army Men? The little plastic soldiers? Well, there you go. Probably my favorite out of these are the Air Attack games. They are kind of like over-the-top action games where you just fly a helicopter, which is pretty cool. I mean, you blow up stuff, you retrieve stuff, you move stuff. You just play a bunch of missions, and it's pretty straightforward. And the second one's pretty much the same thing, but better. Sarge's Heroes is one of the staple games in the series. There was later renditions of Army Men games like Sarge's War, which was more gritty and edgy. But yeah, maybe that'll be another quick play for another time. I used to play that game. We don't talk about that game. Let's go up here. Yes, Brave Fencer Musashi, a game I haven't played that much either. You're gonna see a running theme here. A friend got this for me for my birthday. I am super grateful for this. I had the case for it because some old guy at a garage sale said, "Here, you could just have this for free," and I opened it up and there was only this demo disc that is inside of it. And I was like, "Oh, do you have the game?" And he's like, "What?" And then the conversation led to me being disappointed. So he later just got me the game. The case that he got me with the game wasn't as good, so I had the better case and I just switched it out. And I gave him the case in case he just wanted to get the disc for himself. Because I don't think he had the game, but oh well. There's another Army Men game. See, this top shelf is meant for the dual cases, and then the bottom ones are the singular cases. Atari Anniversary Edition Redux. This is a pretty cool port of some of the best Atari games. One of my favorite on here is Tempest. Tempest is one of my favorite Atari games. Battle Tanks Global Assault. If you like being in a tank and blowing up other tanks, there you go. Blaster Master Blasting Again. A very underrated game that I later picked up and played a little while longer than what I originally played it for. It's got pretty cool controls. I mean, granted, the first time I actually played this or tried to play this fully, one of the levels took me like 20 minutes to beat, but that's because I was being an idiot. But definitely pick this up if you just happen to find it. I don't think it costs that much, but I don't know what the prices are for half of these now, but when I originally picked them up, they weren't as horribly priced as they probably are now, because retro games are going up in price, and that's disappointing. Sorry for anyone who doesn't have retro games already. Yes, Blast Radius. If you played Colony Wars, this is essentially Colony Wars. Yeah. Bloody Roar, a really cool fighting game where your character changes into an animal. It's a really cool fighting game. I like the later games as well. I mean, obviously they got better graphics and stuff, but that's the OG Bloody Roar. The Bombing Islands. Sounds like a wonderful vacation spot. So this is just a puzzle game. You blow up bombs, and if you don't blow them all up, you lose the level. Great. Speaking of bombs, Bomberman Party Edition. This is a fun party game for the PlayStation 1 if you just happen to have 4 controllers, the multi-tap accessory, which is pretty cool to have, which I actually have in one of these drawers over here. I think I have it. Oh, whatever. Anyway, Broken Helix. You want, what's his name? Bruce Campbell? Yeah, you want Bruce Campbell? He's in this game. He plays an action hero. Wonderful. Builder's Block. Think of Tetris, but like possibly worse. I don't know. Chrono Cross, a great RPG that I have not spent much time on at all. I should probably get on that. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I love this game. I have beaten it fully, kind of. I got the bad ending, if you know what I'm talking about. So, I beat it, but I should probably go back at some point. And look, it's the Crash Bandicoot games. Don't you love Crash Bandicoot? We don't talk about this one specifically because it's not that great of a game. But this right here, that's a gem. Crash Team Racing. And it's getting a remastered version, which I don't know if it came out already. It probably did or didn't. I don't know. Ah, yes, a classic PS1 game, Croc. Oh, picked up the wrong game. Good job, Nico. Croc, Legend of the Gobos, the Gobstoppers. It's a neat platforming game, not the best. I believe the second one is better. I don't own the second one, so can't really say much. Dino Crisis. It's dinosaurs in Resident Evil. That's all you have to know. I mean, look at that. It's Capcom. Come on. How could they screw that up? It's actually a really cool game. Duke Nukem games. If you've played a Duke Nukem game, the older ones, it's a fun first-person shooter. Dune 2000. This is a pretty okay port of the PC version, but I would just say get the PC version because this can get really slow, especially when there are a lot of enemies and stuff on the screen. But if you don't know what this is, it's a real-time strategy game made by Westwood Studios, which I absolutely love Westwood Studios. They made the Command and Conquer games, they did this, and a few others, and I really love this. This is probably one of my favorite obscure RTS games. I really love it. Going down here, we got Colony Wars. If you never played Colony Wars, there they are. They are cool space shooter games. There are 3 in total in the series. I wish they would bring it back, but Psygnosis doesn't... They don't make games anymore, I don't think. Oh well. Yeah, if you like space shooter games, that is definitely a must-have. Die Hard Trilogy. Haven't played much of it, but heard very good things. Literally just put in my PlayStation 1 and tested it out, so... Yeah, that'll be a running theme here. There are games that I tested out, but I didn't fully play through. 102 Dalmatians Puppies to the Rescue. A fun, Spyro-like game. Seriously, it's actually a pretty decent game. You should get it. Get it. The Emperor's New Groove. That's a really fun platform adventure game that I really like. I used to play a demo of it all the time as a kid, and then I finally got it, and yeah, I wasn't disappointed. It's got some really fun levels. And then another cool Disney game is Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. It's a really cool action-adventure game starring Buzz, and you fight other toys, and you go through levels collecting stuff. It's really fun. Gauntlet Legends. If you've played any of the Gauntlet games, you'll love this game. I mean, I prefer Dark Legacy on the PS2, but this one is a fair Gauntlet game that I really like. The Italian Job. Yeah, it's a racing game, or at least you get from one destination to the other in a certain amount of time, or you're escaping police, whatever you do. I don't know. It's The Italian Job. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, a adventure game that I should probably play some more of. Lego Racers, surprisingly good music. Like, I actually wouldn't mind having like a soundtrack CD of that, but I already have it favorited in my favorite video game music of all time. It's got some catchy tunes. As a racing game, it's okay. Where are we? Oh, no, we're over here. Fear Effect. Imagine Resident Evil, but it's like in a sci-fi setting with a woman protagonist who's trying to rescue her girlfriend. Yes. I think this was a controversial game at the time, because there was like lesbian protagonist, but whatever. Lego Island 2. You don't play Lego Island 2. Don't ask why I have it. I've had it forever. Looney Tunes Sheep Raider. It's a puzzle game where you have to catch sheep as Wile E. Coyote away from Sam the Sheepdog. And it's got the same Looney Tunes humor, and it's a pretty fun game. You should get it. The medieval games. Awesome action hack and slash games. I love them to death. They're one of my favorite PS1 games, but I should probably beat them too, since they're my favorite to play. Mega Man Legends. If you don't know what Mega Man Legends is by now, it's a pretty cool behind-the-back shooter game. I mean, you play as Mega Man, you collect treasure and parts, and you upgrade Mega Man, and all that fun stuff. Monster Rancher. So the weirdest concept, imagine putting a CD disc into your PlayStation 1, and depending on what CD you put in there, and depending on what you just put in there, it creates a randomly generated monster. And you raise it, you give it food, you take care of it. It's basically like, I don't know, a Tamagotchi in a way, but you get it from a CD. It's really weird. I don't know why. Nightmare Creatures, an awesome, horrifying game that I still get nightmares from, literally. Nitrous Oxide. This is an obscure game that I love to death. It's an arcadey shoot-'em-up game where you shoot bugs and you listen to music by the Crystal Method. It's a really awesome game. And I think it's still pretty cheap, so definitely pick it up. Omega Boost, a really fun space kind of game. I don't know, it's like not on the rails. There are segments where you're on the rails, but you do have free movement, which I really love about it. It's almost like a free moving I'm trying to think of a game that's like it, but anyway, it's a 3D environment and you have to eliminate all the enemies, or there's a boss and you're kind of just put in this area, but you have such a wide area to shoot up all the enemies that are in there, and it's really cool. I would strongly recommend getting it. I think I paid $15 for that. I don't know if it went down or up, but definitely pick up Omega Boost. Pac-Man World. It's a fun platforming game that gets harder and harder as it goes on. Pretty much like every other platformer. Where are we? Oh, G-Police. Imagine Colony Wars, but you're put in a city in a helicopter, or like a futuristic helicopter that you fly around the city and you stop crime because you're cool. Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness, a fun puzzle game. It's surprisingly fun. Point Blank. I love Point Blank. Imagine the fun arcade-style shooters that you've known to love, and it's at your home. It's in your house, but you need a gun con, which there's Point Blank 3. I did a review of this many years back. I prefer Point Blank 3 over this. I don't own Point Blank 2, surprisingly, but this is still fun too. I strongly recommend getting any of the Point Blank games. They are all fun, and you would have to also buy a gun con. Oh, and fun fact, you also need a TV that will work with those games, because if you use a gun con on a flat screen TV, it won't work. And you'll have to probably get a CRT TV, or better known as a tube TV, to play these games, which shouldn't be too hard to find. Pong. It's Pong, but it's actually pretty fun. It's like a more enhanced Pong with different versions of Pong and different types of Pong that you can play. Get in there. Q*bert. It's Q*bert, but in 3D. Rayman, one of the biggest middle fingers to you if you ever want to play a platforming game. I prefer the later Rayman games. RoboPit. This I wanted to actually do a quick play of, but it sadly stopped working, kind of, not really. It just kind of froze on me while I was recording for a quick play, and I really wanted to play this for you guys. But maybe I could go get the disc fixed or something. But this is a really cool game. You basically assemble a robot and you move through the ranks of a basic tournament. And every time you defeat a robot, you take a piece of their part. So it's kind of like Mega Man, but you only get one part or one piece for, I believe it's just the arms. The arms are like different. There are many different pieces, like guns, there are swords, fists, shields, lances. There's a bunch of different weaponry you can find in that game, but it's a really fun game. Saga Frontier 2, a turn-based RPG, I believe. I forget exactly what type of game this is, but I've played a little bit of it. It has a very interesting story. The Saga Frontier games are some of the best, like, I believe RPGs out there, with like different ways of doing the story. I think I didn't really play it for too long, but it was fairly interesting from what I did play. Shadow Master. It's a first-person shooter kind of game. You're in this weird tank and you just shoot aliens. Cool. Speaking of aliens, Space Invaders. This is a really fun take of the classic Space Invaders concept. It has bosses, it has the classic lines and everything of the aliens. You know, you just shoot them and they keep coming faster and faster as they reach the bottom of the screen. And there are different types of aliens and blah blah blah. It's really fun. I think this game is pretty cheap too. Definitely pick it up. What is next? If this thing would kindly get in there. Spider-Man. A very, very fun action game. I love this game. It's got great music. It's got great boss fights. The story's cool. And it's really just a fun game to play if you're ever just bored and want to play a Spider-Man game. And Stan Lee makes a cameo voice appearance, which I think is pretty cute. It's pretty cool. Why did I say cute? Don't listen to me. Anyway, Rogue Trip Vacation 2012. I recently picked this up a little while ago. Think of Crazy Taxi mixed with Twisted Metal. Yeah, it's a weird concept. And it's got a song from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. If you don't know what that band is, I'm so sorry. Pretty fun from what I played. Populous, it's a strategy game where you play basically a deity. It's alright. Picked it up for like $3, I think. Spin Jam. Again, you're going to see a lot of weird games. You know what, I'm going to actually do something here. I'm going to move the games that I've already kind of talked about to the right over here to make it easier because I kind of ran out of room. And I recently just got these shelves. And I'm disappointed that they all got filled up. I'll have to get more. Spin Jam, it's a puzzle game. Kind of like, if you kind of get the gist of like those ball position games where you have to line up the balls and you get combos and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's a cute kind of game. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. It's bicycles. That's all you need to know. The original Medal of Honor, a pretty okay first-person shooter. If you find it, pick it up. It's not too bad. Professional Underground League of Pain. Played it for like 5 minutes. It's a kind of like a futuristic sports game. It's not too terrible. But, I mean, I personally wouldn't get it again, obviously. Yes, a staple in my collection, in not the best condition, but Team Buddies. One of the rarest PS1 games to date. And I can't stress that enough. This game is incredibly hard to find. Good luck. I just happened to have owned it as a kid, and obviously I didn't know how to properly take care of it, and yeah. But it still works, it still plays, and I love it. It's actually not too bad of a game. and I would always go back to play it again. It's a fun kind of strategy game. I actually made a quick play video of it. If you want to check that out on the channel, it's pretty cool. Warzone 2100. It's a strategy game. Set in the future of 2100. Spyro. You can't go wrong with Spyro. I'm so close to beating this game, but I can't find all the fucking gems. The fuck, man? God. Get up there, you dumb dragon. The second Spyro game, Ripto's Rage. Yeah, in all honesty, I would just get the remastered versions, but these are still pretty cool to get if you like collecting retro games like this. And it's kind of sad because these are considered retro, but whatever. We all get old. Ripto's Rage, fun. I haven't played too much of it because I'm trying to play them in order and I can't beat the first fucking game. Anyway, yeah, Year of the Dragon. I used to play a demo of this constantly. I played the sections with the monkey scientist. I think that's what he is. I don't know. Whatever. Star Trek Invasion. If you like space shooters, that's what it is. It's a Star Trek space shooter game. It's kind of cool. Dark Forces from Star Wars Land. You play as Kyle Katarn, and if you've ever read any of the comics or played the Jedi Knight games, this is, I believe, the first game in the series, technically, of the Dark, or not the Dark Knight, the Jedi Knight series. Yes, Batman makes an appearance in this and totally destroys the Jedi. It's a great first-person shooter game. You get tons of weapons, and you kill stormtroopers. What more could you ask for? Siphon Filter, a spy game, I guess. I don't know. It's in the style to me of an Army Men game, but you have different weapons. You get night vision goggles. You basically shoot the shit out of bad guys. It's like a James Bond mixed with Tomb Raider in a way, but I don't know. I haven't played it in forever. Namco, Tekken 2. Wait, Namco. Why would they put the... Okay, just put Tekken 2. They put Tekken on the first one, I believe. Then they put Namco Tekken 2. And then the third game is just Tekken 3. Why? Why that label? Yeah, Tekken 2. It's a cool fighting game. I don't have any of the other Tekken games on PS1. Should probably do that. I hope this does not fall over. I will be very upset. The next Tetris, it's Tetris. Time Crisis. This is a fun gun con game. Well, technically, you don't even need the gun con. You could just use the controller. But now you have the famous light gun shooter game in the palm of your room. I don't know how to word that, but it's fun. It's fun. Tiny Tank. Remember Tiny Tank? I'm sure you don't. Where have you been? This is actually a really cool game that has some nice censoring, actually. Yeah, after every level, Tiny Tank swears or something. He gets interviewed, or he has to do a commercial, and he tells the narrator to screw himself and do the nasty. I don't know. But it's a really fun action game. You blow up other tanks, robots, whatever, and you collect their parts and use them as weaponry. And it's really cool. Definitely pick it up. Tomba. This is a game I've always wanted in my collection, and I got it many years ago, actually. Many? No, a few? I don't know. Anyway, you won't find this easily. It's usually about $40 to $60. I think it's more now. I want the second one badly, but some people can't have nice things, I guess. Tomba, yeah, or Tombi in Europe. It's a fun action puzzle kind of game with RPG elements mixed in, and it's really fun. I absolutely love this game. It's cute. It's got a great art style, and I don't know, it's just great. Made by Whoopee Camp. Good job on the name, guys. Oh, God, this tower's getting huge. I didn't realize how many games I have. And you know what? I have to take... Well, you know what? I'm not going to take down the rest of these games because I'm kind of lazy. Tomb Raider Chronicles, not the best Tomb Raider game. You know what Tony Hawk is. It's skating. It's a skateboarding game. It's one of the best ones. Total Eclipse Turbo. It's a really weird, like 2D, 3D kind of game where you shoot up aliens. I don't know. I didn't play it that long. It was kind of hard actually. Wild Nine. It's a game where you use a electro whip and you torture people, as it clearly says on the front cover. Yeah, kids, you don't just murder your enemies, you torture the shit out of them. There are different ways that you torture people. Sorry, I'm also reading the other things that are on the back of this cover, but yeah, it's a cool game. Definitely pick it up if you find it. What else is there? Oh yeah, Wipeout. It's a racing game. Think of F-Zero. Alright, now we're getting into the, I guess I could talk about the games that are swamped underneath all the other ones I put underneath here. Oh yeah, ever remember the demo discs? Yeah, that's what that is, fucking focus. PlayStation Underground Jam Packs, Winter 2000, please focus. Those were the days where you could pick up a underground disc and you could play a bunch of demos and enjoy them for like 5 minutes and then that's it. Fond memories. Pinobi. It's a platforming game. That's all. Frogger 2 Swampy's Revenge. If you've played Frogger on this lovely system, then you will know what this is. It's the sequel to Frogger, He's Back. It's remarkably better than that game, so definitely pick it up if you get it really cheap. Men in Black, the series, Crashdown. I believe this is based on the comic or the show, I forget, but for some reason on this specific copy of this game, the music cuts out every couple seconds and the voices cut out, so it's really hard to play the game with that on. You Don't Know Jack. If you don't know Jack about You Don't Know Jack, then I don't know what to tell you. It's a party game where you have to answer questions in the weirdest form of questions. Take that as you will. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, one of the hardest Yu-Gi-Oh! Games you will ever play. Good luck. I am not going to explain too much because it is just an experience you should have for yourself. Absolutely impossible to beat. Good luck. You have a 1 in a millionth chance of ever beating it if you ever pick it up. Or you just have to spend your life grinding cards. That is what I will only say. Warhammer, Shadow of the Horned Rat. It's a strategy game. If you don't know what the Warhammer... I hope I just didn't say Whorehammer. The Warhammer games are basically just strategy games. The tabletop version is a little bit more in depth with all the crap that you have to do in them. It's just like a dumbed down version of that. This game is kind of cool. It's got more or less a 2D kind of strategy style, which I like, but it's kind of cool. Siphon Filter 2. I haven't played it because I haven't beat the other Siphon Filter game. Where the fuck? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Haven't played it. Shadow Madness. Now, I want you to think about this. Imagine Final Fantasy VII, but dumber and more complicated somehow. I don't know how you can do that, but that's what Shadow Madness reminds me of. So, I'll just leave it at that. Parasite Eve, a kind of like an RPG Resident Evil style game that I actually kind of like a lot. Oddworld, Abe's Exodus, and right underneath is the first game. I haven't really played much of either, but I like the Oddworld games. They're interesting and fun to play because they're like puzzle games. If you ever played like, what do you call it? Another World, it's kind of in the style of that where you have to go screen to screen. Or Heart of Darkness. Yeah, if you ever played that, which I would also like to get in the collection. It's much like that. Metal Gear Solid. Seriously, if you don't know what Metal Gear Solid is by now, God help you. Press F for respects. Oh God, please focus. The Final Fantasy games. Let's just skip over all of them because I've... let's just not talk about the Final Fantasy games because they've been talked about so much. It's annoying, actually, but they're good. They're good games. Don't listen to me. They're good. They're good. Cartia, the world... I need to move this. This is not a good idea to have them stack like this. Oh, God, now I can't even fit them in. This is a disaster. As you watch me struggle. Okay. Yeah, sure, I'll just put them over here. Don't mind my messy room if you happen to see anything stupid. Anyway. Whatever. I don't care. Cardia, it's kind of like... It is a strategy RPG. Oh, maybe I can manage to get it out of there. Yeah, there we go. And it's published by Atlas. You know, Persona. Yeah. The Word of Fate. I don't know what that means, but it's a really fun strategy RPG. Thank you guys for telling me that it spreads over 30 hours of gameplay on the back of the cover. Now I can time myself and become a speedrunner. But from what I played so far, it's a fun strategy game. If you find it for a good price, definitely pick it up. The Legend of Dragoon, a great RPG that I haven't played. Same with Wild Arms and Xenogears. Xenogears I put some time into, but not enough to actually enjoy it. But I like it. Gran Turismo 2. It's a cool racing game. Get the later Gran Turismo games. They look a lot better, and they're fun. This is my PS1 Mini. I've had this one for quite a while. It's pretty much brand new in the box. It's just a smaller version of the PlayStation 1. Take that with what you will. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's the miniature version. And there's Point Blank 3 with the gun con. Not for sale in California. What's wrong with me? There's some more accessories. You got the gamepad for the PlayStation. Wow. It's got a turbo setting in case your thumb gets tired. Oh, and the Ultra Racer steering controller. Remember, your collection isn't complete without the Ultra Racer steering controller. Please buy this right now. We are desperate for money. Just kidding. It's not the worst controller. What are you? Centipede. The Grinch. It's kind of a... I don't know why. What is this section? It's kind of like the dumb relative version of all the other games over here. Like, you gotta keep away from them. But this is actually a fun platformer game mixed with some puzzle elements. Oh, yes. Wrestling games. If you played one wrestling game, you've played them all. You can create a character in some of these, which is kind of cool. And you get all your favorite WCW superstars. Or now it's WWE. And they changed a bunch of the characters, I think. I don't know. The Land Before Time. Great Valley Racing Adventure. One of the most, I'm going to say, underrated racing games. It's... nostalgic, trust me. Rugrats, Search for Reptar. Performance 1 game. I don't understand. Oh, yeah, I guess I bought it for $1. Moved over Harry Potter. Thanks, Harry Potter. It's a puzzle game. Harry Potter. Yeah, you know what Harry Potter is. E.T., Interplanetary Mission. You don't talk about this game. You don't even look at it. Jeopardy. It's Jeopardy. What do we have in here? I think this... No, never mind. No, this isn't actually important. It's just a bunch of, like, demo discs that are loose in here. I guess I could show you. Hold on. Get that zipper ASMR into the video. Come on. Pain in the ass. Yeah, so interactive CD. Wow. Get like maybe 3 playable games on there. A playable demo of Going Commando with a trailer for Jack 2. That's kind of cool. A PlayStation 2 magazine. CD, just PlayStation Magazine with a PlayStation 2 demo of Lego Star Wars. Dark Cloud, this is an interesting demo. It's not for sale. Don't sell this or you'll go to the jails. PlayStation Magazine, that is Maximo on the front cover. Namco Transmission Volume 3, Jesus, I don't know. More demos. Such a weird one. Pizza Hut demo CD. Don't know what's on it because it doesn't work. I also had another leather thing in here somewhere of a few other games that I just have loose, but they're really not that important. But anyway, that's pretty much all of my PlayStation 1 games. I hate my camera sometimes. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this trip into my PlayStation 1 games. It took a lot longer to go through than I expected, but whatever. Yeah, a lot of obscure games in this wonderful library, and also the games that I crudely threw over here. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, it's okay to be a little crazy about collecting PlayStation 1 games. Jesus. Take care.